From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Good morning and welcome to our Saturday showcase. I'm Max Darrow. Thanks for joining us. We begin with shifting landscapes. Business owners in the Bay Area are navigating a considerable degree of uncertainty in the economy. In just a moment, Suji Nam will introduce us to a business owner in Oakland who's among those receiving a timely grant from a local foundation. But first, to San Francisco's Chinatown, where merchants are experiencing the ripple effects from President Trump's tariffs, even with a temporary reprieve. Here's Kenny Choi.
In the wake of Trump's stop-and-go tariff policies, small business owners like Edward Lau are confused about what and when to order from Chinese importers as inventory levels dwindle.
So you don't know what to do, honestly.
Customers continuously ask the herbal medicine store operator when prices will stabilize. He readily admits that's above his pay grade. Since March, Lau has raised prices while absorbing other costs to remain competitive with similar stores in San Francisco's Chinatown.
I would say that 10 to 20% at least, some of the product, But for most of the other, we still are selling, at the price that we pay for before the tariff.
Lau remains anxious, even though tariffs are significantly lower than the previous 145% hike. A decision to purchase too little now could hurt his bottom line if tariffs ramp up again later this year.
Once you show out, you have to stock up, So the price that we are getting, a lot of time, is much, higher than what we are selling for.
Further up the supply chain from Lau, operators of bonded warehouses, where imported goods can be stored without paying duties until they are removed, have seen immediate changes since the tariff pause.
Are you getting calls about, hey, we'd like to take stuff out now?
Yeah, so we did notice an immediate shift.
Francisco Garcia, the founder of Lynx Logistics, says requests to remove goods have started. Container tracking software provider Vizion also says U.S. container bookings from China surged nearly 300% soon after the announcement. But Garcia says many of the larger companies he works with are still asking for long-term bonded storage.
The big players, the big forwarders, and the big direct shippers are actually asking for more space because these next 90 days are very uncertain.
Uncertainty for a small player in the supply chain like Lau keeps him twisting in the wind as he sees the hardship it has created every day.
I see some of the customers are getting so frustrated, wow, I can't afford it.
Even his son has asked whether running a small store is worth it.
He's told me that, I don't see any future in U.S., even though he was born here. So it makes me even more nervous now.
What is certain is the anxiety Lau is dealing with at the bottom of the supply chain in the midst of a global trade war.
Across the bay in Oakland, a game-changing multi-million-dollar investment into nearly 200 small businesses. The focus on marginalized communities that often do not get enough resources or investment. Suji Nam takes us inside a gym that is one of the grant recipients with a distinctive business model.
Luca Yacone works out about 6 times a week. Today is a powerlifting session at his gym, Radically Fit, in Oakland.
We noticed in the Oakland community a real need for a body positive, fat positive place for folks to come and work out, specifically for queer and trans, black and brown community.
Yacone founded Radically Fit back in 2018 in hopes of creating a safe space for people to work out together. His logo, Fit is not a body type, encapsulates his mission.
We're really trying to disrupt the fitness industry. A lot of the fitness industry is rooted in shaming people about their bodies, and instead we want to give people the opposite experience and be able to find joy when they're moving their bodies with each other.
And Yacone can now grow his vision. He recently applied for and was awarded a $25,000 grant from the East Bay Community Foundation. The money will go toward growing his team and space.
Practitioner space. So this is a room where folks can come and get body work done. We have different practitioners that work out of here.
Yacon is one of 170 Oakland small business owners to receive a grant ranging from $5,000 to $25,000. The money comes from donations to the foundation, which then audits applications and chooses recipients.
We really prioritize the funding towards business owners who face the largest barriers to accessing traditional capital. And oftentimes that is business owners of color, and also women and non-binary business owners.
Sabrina Wu with the East Bay Community Foundation says this is the first time they funded local businesses at scale. More than $2 million invested in entrepreneurs like Yacon, who promote culture and foot traffic into Oakland.
These businesses are here to stay. They're committed. And as East Bay Community Foundation, we're committed to supporting them to continue to be the core and the foundation of our local economy.
And Yacon, who has lived in Oakland for nearly 15 years, says his work is far from over.
Able to see people that look like you, being able to hear your story and other people is really important. We really are dedicated to being rooted in Oakland. Oakland is home.
And Yacon's gym has become a home for many others who want to work out while being the best version of their true selves.
First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz joins us now. Zoe, Memorial Day weekend, so much happening between travel and events. What is your big headline that you'd want people to know as they head out the door today?
Well, get out and enjoy yourself. Moral of the story,
Oh,
no weather issue to worry about. I mean, it's not going to be the most beautiful weekend that we've ever seen.
Okay.
It's going to be that typical May weekend.
All
So
right,
a jacket early in the morning. You might see some fog early in the morning, but overall, it's going to be what we expect for this time of year. So let's get out and just enjoy ourselves while we can. A beautiful sunrise above the clouds, but most of us, living below the clouds, not dealing with it. But I have to show you all what we're going to be seeing this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, as most of this fog, especially in places like the Santa Clara Valley and our inland communities, is going to be officially dissipating by later today. Here in San Francisco, especially in the western half of the city, as you know, likely going to be seeing a lot of that fog sticking around, while the eastern half gets a little bit more sunshine. Right now, everybody, though, is dealing with a bit of a mild start to the day. Temperatures in the mid to lower 50s to upper 40s up across our North Bay communities. By the afternoon, though, everybody is going to be warming up to a degree or two warmer than what we felt yesterday, other than along our coastal communities that are still going to be sitting in the mid to upper 50s. But our inland East Bay area is going to be back into the mid to upper 70s, down into the Santa Clara Valley, also going to be in the mid 70s as well, along with the North Bay. So everybody is going to be seeing these nice conditions today, although cooler weather is going to be arriving tomorrow. I'll let you know how cool it's going to get, and then when 90s return as a roller coaster of temperatures continues coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
Thank you, Zoe. Coming up after the break, connection, culture, and Carnival. We'll introduce you to Jesus Cortes and his dance group, Kuli Kakali, about to make their Carnival parade debut. Welcome back. Carnival takes over San Francisco this weekend. In a moment, we'll meet a dance team getting ready to join the parade on Sunday for the very first time, and we'll explore the deeper meaning of their rhythm. But first, the Grand Marshals. Veronica Macias introduces you to one of them, proud to be preserving the culture of Afro-Latin music.
Buena noche, criollo. Congo de Guinea soy.
A pioneer of San Francisco's Carnival, John Santos is one of two Grand Marshals for this year's celebration.
Yo vengo a hacer caridad.
The 7-time Grammy-nominated percussionist in Afro-Latin music has performed and recorded with some of the top names in the industry. He can best tell you the history of the African diaspora. With cantos, spiritual songs which have been passed down through generations.
The system of slavery and the colonial system, which was brutally violent, and with intention stripped the African of everything African, stripped them of the spiritual practices, stripped them of their language, stripped them of their cultural identity. So it's very important. It's an act of resistance. It shows the resistance, it shows the resilience, it shows the creativity and the courage of the Africans and the African descendants who preserved those languages and those customs despite very, very serious persecution.
This year's Carnival theme is Afro Mundo, African diaspora in the Americas.
We have so much incredible African influence up and down the Americas, and that's something that really unites us.
Despite their suffering, Afro-Latinos found joy in life through dance and music, which is what Carnival represents.
Through music, through dance, through visual arts, all of that is a big part of how we tell our story to the next generation and how we document our history in our own words. It's very important that our kids know who we are in our voices from the songs and the dances and the costumes and the food and all of the cultural things that we identify with.
Santos, who grew up in this barrio, as he puts it, back in the late 50s, was surrounded by music with influence from Puerto Rico and Cape Verde. His music reflects this with songs that mix Spanish and the African dialect Bantu. The organizers of the festival feel he was a perfect fit, someone who is helping pass along traditions of Afro-Latinos, but also someone who has given back to his community by teaching in this neighborhood.
He is a culture bearer, and with that comes a lot of responsibility, and he carries that humbly, in a dignified way, and that merits a Grand Marshal, if not more.
Not only a Grand Marshal, but a beacon for the community he represents.
Always a special weekend in San Francisco. Sunday's Carnival Parade is the marquee event of the weekend. And this year, a dance group with deep roots in the mission will make its parade debut. It's called Kuikakali, and this moment is years in the making.
That's the most important part.
Connection.
Here we go.
Is at the core of Kuikakali. Connection to the rhythm, to the earth below, to one's culture. And this year, Jesus Cortez and his students will get to connect with a crowd they've never had the chance to connect with before.
I always work to bring my culture to the highest point that I can. So to me, it's a fabulous honor to be able to bring this culture, my culture, to San Francisco.
For the first time ever, Cortez and his students will get to perform their Mexican folklorico dance routine in the Carnival Parade.
We have about 50 dancers who is going to be performing with us, and we are super excited to now go and take the streets with Carnival San Francisco here in the Mission District.
Many of his students have been with him since he started the dance group more than 15 years ago. That includes Fernanda Mercado, who started when she was 5.
Dance is just my passion. It's what I want to do forever.
She says it'll be an honor to perform in the Carnival Parade this year.
It's going to feel amazing. Bring it out first.
And she is especially proud.
You're right.
Of her connection to what you'll see in the Carnival Parade.
I'm really excited to showcase a choreography I'm going to make for one of our Carnival pieces. That's really exciting for me to be able to choreograph a dance.
My goal is then through dance, through the culture, they can maintain and sustain their identity and feel proud of who they are.
Come Parade Day, Cortez says Kuikakali will complement Carnival's colorful collage of cultures.
So it's going to be amazing to be part of the parade.
A new way to connect with the community Cortez is proud to call home.
Viva Carnaval! Viva San Francisco!
And of course, we'll bring you live coverage of the Carnival Parade. It all starts tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning on our sister station, Pix Plus, and streaming on CBS News Bay Area. You won't want to miss it. Coming up, a sting operation for a treasured ring. We'll introduce you to a San Francisco woman who found herself teaming up with a police sergeant to track down a family heirloom that went missing.
And it's a foggy start to our day here in San Francisco. It's that true May gray start to our morning, so stay in bed an extra minute or two. No one's going to blame you this morning, but by the afternoon, we'll be seeing plenty of sunshine, as you can see above all the clouds in Black Mountain. A beautiful sunrise to kick off our day. Clouds will continue to dissipate, temperatures will continue to warm up, and a really lovely afternoon is ahead of us. I'll let you know what else you can expect this weekend coming up in just a bit.
When a family heirloom goes missing, people will go to great lengths to find it. And in San Francisco, one woman recently found herself involved with a police sting operation to bring a long-lost family heirloom home. Here's Kevin Coe.
This is the pinnacle of a sting operation by SFPD.
Hello, sir.
A moment only possible because of one SFPD sergeant and Denise Greenberg.
I told him I felt like I was on a Law and Order episode. and he said, you kind of are.
Denise's episode started when this went missing, a ring passed down through generations. The family heirloom dates back to 1870.
My stepmother gave it to me, the ring to me for my 40th birthday, and wanted me to wear it. I was, very moved that she wanted me to have it. So I really treasure it.
So much that she rarely takes it off unless she's at home. That was the case last fall when Denise had her kitchen remodeled. She put away her ring but couldn't find it and wondered if she'd misplaced it. After weeks of searching, the ring came looking for her.
I came home in February one evening and there was a notice plastered to my building.
The note read, "Friends, 2 months ago we found a ring near this house next to some construction debris. We are willing to return it for a reward." Denise emailed right away.
And then I got a reply that was basically trying to extort money from me.
Denise reached out to SFPD Sergeant Nicholas Hillard, who helped her communicate with the mysterious emailer for weeks. The final agreement: Denise would meet someone by this gate and hand over $4,000 for the ring. But when the day arrived, it wasn't Denise looking for the ring.
My name's Sergeant Hillard. A few minutes later, Sergeant Hillard came upstairs and handed me my ring back. Oh my God.
So that's it?
Can I give you a hug?
This journey Denise never asked to be on gave her a new sense of appreciation for SFPD, where reputation can sometimes outweigh reality.
It still had left me the impression that they wouldn't be super responsive to a robbery, and he was so responsive. Surprising to be talking to the CBS guy, but I'm incredibly grateful to the police.
For his efforts, Sergeant Hillard was awarded SFPD Officer of the Month and this hug.
That hug at the very end, it's funny, that could be the greatest reward you could get sometimes.
Oh yeah, gotta love a good hug. It just kind of warms your heart. And fun fact for you all, a hug that lasts about 15 seconds actually increases the serotonin in your brain. There's scientific studies that have proven that.
Hug a little bit more, everybody. That's the lesson this morning.
Yes.
And speaking of hugs, the fog giving us a good hug
Yeah,
this
exactly.
morning.
Carl's given us a nice hug early this morning, and he's going to stick around for the coastal communities. But inland areas, it's actually going to be a really, really nice day out there. I kind of want to pop up the hemisphere and kind of show you all what's going on outside right now. You can see from space that storm system that did impact us yesterday. It brought us a bit of cooler weather, and now it's making its way across the desert Southwest. You can see that really fun comma shape that lets you know it is a storm system that is currently maturing, and it's getting stronger and stronger. And then there's another storm system that is going to be impacting us tomorrow. It'll be bringing us a cool down, but we're in between right now. High pressure is building, and a lot of sunshine is going to arrive today. So today is going to be nicer than tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll be dealing with a bit more cloud coverage from that upcoming storm system. So something just to keep in mind, the fact that we're being sandwiched between two storm systems. But right now we are seeing just a little bit more of those foggier conditions. If we take what we are looking at on the hemisphere and put it on the ground, yeah, a lot of fog sticking around, especially closer to our coastal communities, along the peninsula, and a little bit along our inland East Bay. If we take off the satellite and show you with our virtual reality technology where the fog is building in right now, it's really interesting to see. Most of the Bay Area is dealing with it, but again, it's not going to be much longer than the earlier parts of this morning. Most of that fog burning off by the late morning and early afternoon, although those of us that do live along the peninsula and our South Bay communities, that's where the fog is likely going to be sticking around a little bit thicker. But our North Bay, if you want to enjoy some sunshine along the coast, hey, that's the place to go right now or throughout this afternoon and evening. Something just to keep your eye on as we step out. Winds are also going to be a bit breezier this afternoon, gusting anywhere from 25 to 35 miles an hour. But temperatures, even with these breezy winds and even with a bit more of that cloud coverage, those temperatures this afternoon are actually going to be sitting in the upper 70s across our inland East Bay communities. Didn't mean to put the clouds back on. We're going to put on temperatures right now. Again, show you them warming up across the inland East Bay communities and North Bay communities. We're going to be seeing those highs sitting in the upper 70s. And that's really, really nice, especially compared to yesterday. Coastal communities, though, still sitting in the upper 50s. Kind of just depends where you're located. But again, it is going to be a nicer day today compared to yesterday as we are in between those storm systems. So get out, enjoy Battle Rock. If you're heading out today, again, is going to be nicer than tomorrow. A bit of a cool down and a bit breezier winds will arrive tomorrow. We're also going to be seeing a lot more of that cloud coverage. So if you're planning on heading out to Carnival, just grab a jacket. You'll probably need it, especially earlier in the morning when the parade takes place. High pressure, though, is going to be allowing our temperatures to rebound today. Tomorrow, though, we'll be seeing those cooler, those cloudier, those windier conditions as that storm system moves directly overhead. But it's a very quick mover. High pressure moves in quickly behind it and allows those temperatures to heat up by the middle to end of next week. So it's not going to stay slightly cooler or slightly below average for long. It's really just Sunday that we get down a couple of degrees below average, back to seasonable by Monday, and then back to a couple of degrees above average by Tuesday. And it's going to stay that way through the end of the week. In fact, we'll be getting back into the low 90s. So a big heat up is on the way, but those of us that are heading out on Memorial Day weekend, it's going to be likely jacket closer to the coast, sunshine and a bit warmer farther inland. Back to you.
Thank you, Zoe. Coming up after the break, budget cuts, a program possibly on the chopping block, and the road ahead for students and staff. We're back in just a moment.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Thanks for staying with us for our Saturday showcase. I'm Max Darrow. Our next topic this morning, budget cuts. Whether at a major scale or minor scale, they're affecting people and groups in our communities as we speak. That includes the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus. In a moment, we'll introduce you to a man who says he found his voice through the ensemble's collective voice, but a loss in federal funding could set back part of the group's mission. But first, the future of a unique program at San Francisco State stuck in gridlock. Here's Ryan Yamamoto with the road ahead for students and faculty.
Delay on 27 bus parked Merced is on time. M-train towards Balboa Park 39 is on time.
For Casey Cruz,
delays on the M-train.
Delivering the evening traffic report at San Francisco State's college radio station is essential for fellow students and faculty.
The KSFS radio app. As a commuter student, I drive an hour one way just to get to school. Understanding what's going on in the city before I leave helps me navigate getting to school on time.
This past semester, traffic became part of the school's Intro to Radio and Podcasting class, focusing on hyper-local reports impacting the college.
The M-train to Balboa Park, 101, 280 South, Daly City BART. We're only 7 square miles, but we have a lot of transit.
Checking the Bay Bridge ride, the metering lights are still on, but...
The idea for the curriculum courtesy of longtime Bay Area traffic reporter Elaine Leung.
I've been doing this for about 30 years or so.
Who has doubled as a lecturer at San Francisco State for the past 6.5 years.
We are the only Northern California college radio station that is offering consistent transit traffic reports.
But the future of the college traffic report and other unique classes at San Francisco State remain in jeopardy. Because of budget issues and low enrollment, the California State University system is facing $375 million in cuts, which could translate into a $21 million cut for SFSU, forcing the school to lay off or not retain at least 100 employees, including several lecturers like Leung.
Here we go.
As for Casey Cruz, who will graduate this spring, he's now looking to land a job in radio with traffic reporting as a backup.
I saw this as a different skill set that I wanted to learn. And that is important, and if it can impact the community, okay, but I like skills that I can use.
Useful skills, he hopes, will pave the road ahead.
At the federal level, the Trump administration continues to slash funding for cultural agencies. As a result, an established and world-renowned LGBTQ group that calls San Francisco home is now hoping the community will help bridge the gap for funding that was abruptly taken away.
Good luck, baby, good luck.
Finding his place among this ensemble of voices nearly 10 years ago,
You make a new excuse.
was instrumental in Tom Paulino's journey to find his voice as a gay man.
It's nuanced my understanding of what it meant to be a queer person and how we all come to be who we are and find ourselves here in San Francisco.
He is a member of the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus. The group has been around since 1978, singing, teaching, and reaching out into Bay Area communities on a mission to promote acceptance, awareness, and inclusivity. But in 2025, his group and its mission has run into a roadblock.
Any time that the pendulum swings towards progress, we always know that there is often a backlash to that, and we're currently living in an enduring period of backlash.
The San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus is one of many organizations that just found out the National Endowment for the Arts, the NEA, decided to terminate a previously awarded federal grant. The rationale, according to the email that Chorus CEO Chris Verdugo received,
the NEA is updating its grant-making policy priorities to focus funding on projects that reflect the nation's rich artistic heritage and creativity as prioritized by the president. That isn't surprising, knowing what we know, but it is devastating, to be honest. It's clear that they are trying to silence LGBTQ voices or trying to silence our stories.
Verdugo says they were expecting around $75,000 to help fund the Rhythm education program.
Rhythm, Reaching Youth Through Music, is a program about empowering not just queer youth, but their allies to be their authentic selves, to be the best selves that they can for themselves and their school systems.
Though the times may be changing, Paulino's resolve is holding strong.
The thing that I've always found a lot of solace and a lot of hope in is when you look around at all of your allies, whether they are queer people or straight people or people of color or women, anybody from a marginalized community that has had any sort of injustice thrust upon them by society or by somebody in power. I always know that those people are the ones that band together eventually to pull our communities and our culture forward.
His eyes are set on 2 upcoming concerts in Sonoma County and in San Francisco.
To show the world, show our community what love and joy looks like on stage.
Continuing to reach communities, one note at a time. The San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus is seeking donations to help bridge the gap for its Rhythm program. You can learn more on our website, kpix.com. First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz here. So many fun things happening all throughout the Bay Area. We've talked about Bottle Rock, we've talked about Carnival, also Memorial Day weekend celebrations. Overall, just kind of regular May Day?
Yeah,
May weekend, I should say.
May Day, May Gray.
May Day,
yeah.
no May Days on this May Day of this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be that typical, normal, what we expect this time of year. It's not going to be the big heat up, so don't go to the beach and expect a lot of sunshine. Expect kind of what we're seeing behind me right now. It's foggier out there. By the afternoon, though, temperatures are going to be maybe a degree or 2 warmer than yesterday, but don't expect it to be hot out there by any means. They'll be in the mid to upper 70s across our inland East Bay communities and our North Bay communities, mid 70s down into the Santa Clara Valley. And as usual, the closer to the coast you get, the cooler it gets. So places like Pacifica, Half Moon Bay, Point Reyes, you'll be in the mid to upper 50s. Those green temperatures indicate those cooler conditions, as well as those clouds are going to be sticking along the coast. This morning, you're seeing them all across the Bay Area. By this afternoon, we will be noticing them dissipating. So the farther inland, the farther north you go, the more sunshine you're going to be seeing. That's going to be the moral of the story for today. By tomorrow, though, we are going to be noticing actually cooler temperatures. So today is actually a degree or 2 below average still. Tomorrow going to be a degree or 2 cooler than that, and maybe even a little bit windier as well. Onshore winds are going to pick up as a storm system moves overhead, but it's not going to bring us any sort of rain. It's just going to bring us those cooler temperatures by tomorrow. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be seeing them warming right back up until 90s return to the forecast. I'll let you know how long they'll stick around for and when you might see a little bit more clouds as well coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
Thank you, Zoe. A Brazilian dance group is set to samba through the streets of San Francisco. For one member, the traditions run deep. in her family.
And I believe this was the year of one of my earliest memories. Carnival was a space where she could be creative.
Welcome back. Let's revisit Carnival. It's a major celebration happening in San Francisco this weekend. The main event, the parade, where you'll see a vibrant collage of cultures. This year's theme is Afro Mundo, the African diaspora in the Americas. In a moment, Suji Nam will introduce us to a wonderful group of people devoted to Brazilian dance. But first, Len Ramirez with another group performing this weekend that traces its traditions back to revolutionary roots in Mexico.
The color, the joy, the irresistibly friendly faces, and that non-stop dance beat, it's all part of Negritud Yanga, one of the most unique dance groups in the Bay Area, coming soon to Carnaval San Francisco. Negritud Yanga is made up of the small but fiercely proud Afro-Mexican community. It includes members like Enrique Guzman and Marta Munoz Diaz, this year's Yanga king and queen who now live on the peninsula in South Bay, but were born in the group's namesake town in Mexico.
When I'm not the king, I work for a construction company in Santa Clara. We're so proud to say, hey, I'm from Yanga.
Yanga is known as the first free settlement for former slaves in the Americas, named after Gaspar Yanga, an African who led a successful rebellion against his captors. The town was officially recognized by Spain in 1618 as a safe haven for escaped slaves. Today, Yanga in the state of Veracruz is still a thriving community and a symbol of Afro-Mexican heritage and black resistance.
It's nice to tell people that we're still there and we exist. Nobody knows. We're trying to tell them, hey, we're there, and we proud to be Afro-descendants.
Their Afro-Mexican pride can be seen in the designs of their colorful costumes. Last year was Negritud Yanga's first appearance at Carnaval. This year, they'll be joined by a sister dance group filled with friends and family members who will be coming all the way from Yanga in Mexico.
It's going to be bigger, for the Carnival in San Francisco. It's going to be more exciting. We're going to be very happy to see them here. I hope, they can come.
Yanga, primer pueblo libre de América, estará presente en el Carnaval de San Francisco.
The group sent this video postcard to Carnival's organizers, excited to show their presence in Northern California. And the visit fits perfectly into this year's Carnival theme, Afro Mundo. Desde África llegó la esperanza. Although only about 2% of Mexico's population is Afro-Mexican, Negritud Yanga is part of a movement that celebrates this identity, culture, and history.
And I'm so proud to be native and African descendant from Yanga.
And members of the group are reclaiming their heritage and adding their own Afro-Mexican flair to the rich cultural fabric of the Bay Area.
That music has such a great beat to wake you up on a Saturday morning. Now to a group celebrating Brazilian dance traditions, led by a person who was raised to appreciate the culture. Here's Suji Nam.
After 3 months of rehearsals, Bloco Ginga Brazil is about to cross the finish line. Taina Damasceno, the group's artistic director, has been busy prepping for the SF Carnival, focusing on their theme of home.
The Carnival of Bahia and of Rio de Janeiro. Bahia being our founder's home state that has a very strong Carnival culture, very much rooted in the streets.
She is working with Kellen Rosa, a samba director from Rio, to choreograph the group's dance routine. The group will feature more than 150 Ginga Brazil performers like these, parading down the Mission District this year.
Every Saturday, getting together, costuming together, rehearsing dances, understanding the cultural traditions behind what we're doing.
For Damasceno, the SF Carnival is more than just a festival. It's family tradition.
This is my mother, Conceição Damasceno, artist from Bahia, Brazil. And really when she founded Ginga Brasil, her intention was to showcase authentic Brazilian carnival culture. This is me in carnival with my mother. I think I'm about 2 years old. And I believe this was the year of one of my earliest memories.
They carried on that tradition ever since, but for the past few years, it's been bittersweet.
I took over the direction of Bloco Ginga Brasil 3 years ago with the passing of my mom. She struggled with lupus for around 15 years. It took a lot out of her. Carnival was a space where she could be creative.
Following in her mother's footsteps, Damasceno is now pouring her passion into her mother's nonprofit, Brazart, to preserve Brazilian culture. Brazart Board Secretary Ashley George says the impact is global.
And bringing that love, the joy, and the community from people from all different backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, all different places from around the world.
And for Damasceno, the dance routine, the costume, the music, all go back to her mother.
Continuing the legacy of telling stories that are important to our people, telling stories that shine light on marginalized groups, that shine light on folks who don't have a voice or whose voice is being ignored.
Sharing their voices
Brasil, bloco mais barril,
for the world to hear.
We'll bring you live coverage of the Carnival Parade. It begins tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning on our sister station Pix Plus and streaming on CBS News Bay Area. You won't want to miss it. Coming up after the break, the artist who literally left her heart in San Francisco.
This heart here in Union Square is probably one of my proudest moments.
Welcome back. We continue to celebrate Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And this morning, we want to introduce you to a Chinese American artist with work at the heart of San Francisco. Here's Mary Lee.
A lot of good memories.
Lori Chin is a second-generation Chinese American. Born and raised in San Francisco, her artwork reflects both her love for SF and her culture.
Being an Asian American in SF is definitely something you can be proud of, and you don't have to feel ashamed. And kind of your culture is everywhere.
Some of Lori's favorite memories are with her family in San Francisco's Chinatown. She even created a series of nostalgic designs featuring her favorite childhood Chinese snacks growing up.
Especially the Vitasoy. My grandpa used to take me and my brother to Chinatown, and we would always play at the playground, and for sure after he would take us to like one of those tiny little corner stores that is sadly no longer there, and he would go and let me and my brother both get a Vitasoy, and we would sit on like the stoop and wait for the bus together and just drink our Vitasoys.
It's not just Chinatown, but it's part of a city she calls home that means so much to her.
Everything about SF is just like special, at least to me, but maybe that's because I grew up here, but I love that it's just a place that a lot of people can just come and be themselves.
You could say Lori left her heart in San Francisco, designing 2 sculptures for the Hearts in San Francisco Public Art Project.
This heart here in Union Square is probably one of my proudest moments. You know, just growing up in San Francisco, you always see the cool art downtown, and just like everyone knows the hearts that are down in Union Square.
Lori's entire family is proud of her, especially her dad, who couldn't be prouder.
I remember when Lori had her beautiful heart displayed at Union Square. My wife and I would go there maybe every other week, and I would point out to people admiring the heart that my daughter painted that.
Lori and her dad took me to her former high school, Lowell, so I could see her second Heart of San Francisco sculpture.
I haven't been back to Lowell probably since I graduated, and I know there's been like quite a few changes.
Walking back into her old high school, Lori saw her heart sculpture celebrating diversity, proudly displayed in the main hallway.
What do you think when you're seeing this heart for the first time in years now?
I'm actually kind of surprised that it's in better condition than I thought. I thought for sure it would be maybe a little more messed up, but for the most part, it's pretty intact. And it makes me happy to see it. Each hand has its own unique design, but I love when they overlap and when they intersect with each other and just show that everyone has a connection. And I just love those things, just like being able to celebrate everyone's differences, but also celebrate our similarities.
Honoring both her culture and her city, Lori's artwork celebrates the beauty of diversity and unity, serving as a heartfelt love letter to her community, aiming to bring joy to the people and places that have shaped her into who she is today.
It's a nice day.
And you can find all of our stories for AAPI Heritage Month on KPIX.com. Be sure to watch our Legacy and Leadership special here on KPIX. That airs tonight at 7 o'clock. First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz joins us at 7:51 on this Saturday morning. And Zoe, we've talked about the weather. We've talked about a lot of different things today, but allergies, have you noticed that? Has that been nuts? That's been a roller coaster for me the past week. I know you've got a roller coaster.
I was about to say, we got a roller coaster of temperatures, but yeah, also the roller coaster of pollen. It's transitioned from the tree pollen to the grass pollen.
Oh, okay.
And it's also, speaking of roller coasters, the new Lilo and Stitch movie's coming out. So, you know, we got a roller coaster ride, temperatures. It's gonna be a good time.
Dive into that right
Either
now.
way, but it might be a good time to watch a movie inside early this morning because it's foggy. It's that May gray. It is kind of going to be one of those days where it depends on where you live, how much sunshine you're going to see, because our coastal communities, and especially along the peninsula, it's going to be cloudy. It's going to be those true May gray conditions. But the farther inland you go and the farther north you go, the sunnier it's going to be. So it really depends on where you are, how much of that sunshine you're going to see, and how warm your temperatures are going to get. With the coastal community seeing more of that cloud coverage and that onshore flow, you'll only be seeing those high temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. But the farther inland you get, you'll be seeing those highs warming into the mid to upper 70s, back to seasonable, if maybe not a degree or two below average, but likely definitely warmer than yesterday. We're going to continue to see these winds being breezy, 25 to 35 miles an hour across the bay. It's very similar to what we felt yesterday, as the onshore winds again will stick around, but it's not going to be anything unbearable this afternoon. It's going to be a really lovely day for any outdoor plans that you may have. And this morning, if you were above the clouds, it was a beautiful sunrise. It was lovely out there. You see a lot of that fog, though, continuing to fill in the Santa Clara Valley. But like I showed you, the inland communities, Santa Clara Valley, you're not going to see the fog for much longer than the late morning hours. And inland East Bay, you're already seeing plenty of sunshine. That was our view from the top of Mount Diablo. But again, here in San Francisco, it's a foggy start to our day. You see that fog just on the top of the Golden Gate, keeping our temperatures pretty mild, mid-50s to low 50s across most of the Bay Area, other than those upper 40s across our North Bay communities. But either way, we are going to continue to see cooler temperatures on the way tomorrow, as there's actually a storm system that will be approaching us. So tomorrow, if you're planning on heading out to Carnival, you're going to be seeing slightly cooler temperatures in the morning. You're going to want to grab a jacket to kick off the day, and you'll notice the storm system again in the distance that will be approaching, and that's going to bring us the potential for a bit more cloud coverage tomorrow and slightly cooler temperatures. We'll be back down into the low 70s to upper 60s inland, but then back to seasonable by Monday, and then back to above average by Tuesday. And then in fact, look at by Friday, 90s returning to the forecast. So big heat up is on the way, kind of that roller coaster of temperatures that's going to continue for at least the next 7 days, but no chances for rain. Back to you.
Thank you, Zoe. Coming up after the break, a biologist during the week and defender of a kingdom on the weekend. When we come back, a 60-year tradition where people take a page out of the past. Finally this morning, we travel back in time 60 years. Before Comic-Con, before cosplay, there was the Society of Creative Anachronism, and it all started in a Berkeley backyard, sparking a worldwide movement dedicated to living history. Here's Itai Hod.
Salt to bind us together, apple sweet to the core.
In a scenic meadow just beyond Cloverdale, California, lies a kingdom
you won't find on any map.
Long live the King and Queen of the West!
There's a king and a queen, and thousands of subjects living like the Middle Ages never went out of style.
So you're gonna go like this?
And speaking of style, the outfits are as hard to get into as they are to pull off.
Why dress up in medieval clothing and live like this? It's fun. I can't put it any other way.
Monday through Friday, Marcus Powell Ford is a 25-year-old biologist. But on weekends, he becomes Javier Miguel Castillo de Guzman, Master of Defense for the Kingdom of the West.
Ultimately, the goal is to learn a little bit more about what it would have actually been like to live in period.
Welcome to the Society for Creative Anachronism, or SCA for short, a global fellowship dedicated to reliving the Middle Ages, minus, of course, the plague and poor plumbing.
The bathrooms are not 17th century. No.
From food prepared from medieval recipes to hand-stitched embroidery, everything here predates the 1600s. Well, almost everything. Unlike a Renaissance fair, you won't find anyone selling turkey legs or trinkets here. It's more immersion than entertainment. The SEA, which started in 1966 in Berkeley, now spans more than 20 kingdoms and 50,000 participants worldwide. Each kingdom has its own customs, titles, and royalty, with new monarchs chosen at every major gathering. We met King Sigefrith moments after he was crowned, so we had to ask.
Do I have to bow to you? You do not have to bow to me, no. It's customary, though.
The main event of the weekend, a fencing tournament, medieval style. Marcus, fighting as Javier Miguel Castillo de Guzman, advances round after round. By day's end, he's crowned champion. Is it a big honor?
It is a big honor.
The title is his, at least until next year, when someone else takes a stab at it.
Looks like a great time there in Cloverdale. Thanks for watching KPIX News this morning. The news continues all day on CBS News Bay Area. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock.